The emergency siren howled through the cargo bay of the Veritha's Claw, and Captain Wilnox felt all three of his stomachs sink at once. He knew that alarm tone far too well. It was reserved for disasters, hull breaches, security failures, or situations that could ignite interstellar wars. What he did not expect was to rush into the loading dock and find his second officer, Garvok, standing frozen in place, holding a small pale creature wrapped in bright fabric. The thing was producing a piercing scream that echoed painfully off the metal walls. Wilnox stared. Slowly. Dangerously. Garvok, he said, his mandibles clicking in that special way that usually preceded someone being ejected into space, tell me that is not what I think it is. Garvok's eye stalks drooped. Well, Captain, that depends on what you think it is. Wilnox stepped closer. The creature screamed louder, its face turning an alarming shade of red. Is that, Wilnox hissed, a human infant? The sound increased in volume, as if answering the question. Wilnox had survived plasma firefights quieter than this. In my defense, Garvok began, which immediately made things worse, I thought it was a Bulvation grub. The vendor said it was exotic livestock. Wilnox felt something inside him die. You bought an unscanned life form from a black market stall and brought it onto my ship. The price was very reasonable, Garvok offered weakly. The infant began what Wilnox could only describe as a tactical screaming assault. Its tiny fists waved angrily, and Wilnox's limited understanding of human biology told him this meant extreme distress, or rage. Do you have any idea what humans do when you take their offspring? Wilnox snapped, activating his communicator with shaking claws. They erased an entire dominion over a single kidnapping. A fleet of 10,000 ships reduced to scrap. Garvok swallowed. How many do they have now? 12, Wilnox replied flatly. Because the humans destroyed the rest. At that exact moment, the cargo bay doors slid open and Mira, the ship's medical officer, rushed in with her scanner already active. One glance at the screaming bundle made her face cycle through colors Wilnox didn't think her species could produce. Oh no, she muttered. No, no, no. Human. Female. About 8 months old. Healthy. Terrified. Wilnox closed his eyes. We're dead. Can't we just, put it back? Garvok asked desperately. Wilnox nearly laughed. Put it back where? You don't even remember which dock you bought her from. Garvok winced. Station 47. Dock 9, or 19. Wilnox made a sound between a growl and a whimper. Humans have a parental instinct so powerful it borders on apocalyptic. They don't negotiate. They erase. The baby cried harder, clearly offended by the conversation. Mira gently took the infant from Garvok's arms, rocking her with practiced care despite the panic in her eyes. We must contact human authorities immediately, Mira said. Every second matters. As if summoned by fate itself, the communications console lit up. Incoming transmission, Terran Defense Coalition, Priority Alpha. Garvok whispered, it got worse. Wilnox accepted the call. A hologram of a human woman appeared, her calm expression somehow more terrifying than rage. This is Commander Patricia Wells of the TDC battle cruiser Resolve, she said evenly. We believe you may have acquired human property from Station 47. Wilnox swallowed. Commander, there has been a grave misunderstanding. My officer believed he was purchasing Bulvation livestock. A human baby, Wells replied, raising an eyebrow. Because he thought she was a grub. Yes, ma'am, Wilnox said miserably. Here's what's going to happen, Wells continued. You will transmit your coordinates. You will return the child unharmed. And then we will discuss how this happened. Mira lifted the infant into view. She's safe. Federal. Just scared. For half a second, Wells' expression softened. Then it hardened into something cold and lethal. You have 12 hours to reach waypoint Delta 7, she said quietly. If you're late, if she's injured, or if her diaper isn't clean, your ship will become an example. Yes, Commander, Wilnox replied quickly. We'll be early. The transmission cut off. Silence followed, broken only by the baby's cries. So, said Crix, the engineer, leaning in the doorway, who wants to explain why the Terran Defense Coalition is hunting us? Garvok looked down. I panicked. Will Knox sighed. Set course for waypoint Delta 7. And someone find human baby supplies, now. The next several hours were chaos. Feeding schedules, diaper changes, and frantic tutorials on human infant care turned the bridge into a battlefield of panic and concentration. Mira demonstrated how to support the baby's head while feeding her formula, explaining that human infants had weak neck muscles due to their oversized brains. And these creatures conquered half the galaxy, one officer muttered. Through persistence and sheer stubbornness, Will Knox replied. Hour 11 arrived, and the Veritha's claw dropped out of faster-than-light travel at waypoint Delta 7. The Terran battle cruiser Resolve was already waiting, massive, armed, and unmistakably prepared for war. A shuttle docked, and Commander Wells boarded with a security team. Yet when she saw the baby, her posture softened instantly. She's been fed and cleaned, Mira reported carefully. No injuries. You did well, Wells said. Soon after, the infant was reunited with her parents aboard the Resolve. Tears, relief, and quiet gratitude filled the air. Will Knox felt a crushing weight finally lift from his chest. Later, Wells returned. You'll be fined for failing to scan cargo, she said. And your officer will undergo mandatory species identification training. Will Knox nodded. Fair. As the Resolve departed, a final message came through, audio only. Thank you, the mother's voice said through tears. For bringing our baby home. Will Knox exhaled slowly. You're welcome. He turned to his crew. New regulation, Garvok is never allowed to shop unsupervised again. From engineering, Garvok's voice echoed back, that's fair. As the ship jumped back into faster-than-light travel, Will Knox reflected on the lesson learned. Humans were terrifying when their children were threatened, but surprisingly forgiving when those children were returned safely. Some mistakes, he decided, should only ever happen once.